Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, round 6. And if you want to look on Instagram, it's hashtag 30DSCBL6. And this is the sketch for today. This is day 2. And see that those little squares are an inch and a half. It shows them on there. Well, I thought, I've got a piece of paper with my autumn collection and it has little squares on it. And guess what? They were inch and a half. So I thought, I got to do this layout. And this is Cartabella. And gosh, I can't remember the name of it. If you need to know though, because you like it, want to get it, it is, ask down there below. I can't even talk. Ask down there below and I will let you know. I will look at it. I cut the little branding strip off. I thought maybe I might be able to see it and remember, but it's gone. I am inking all of them. First, I started out inking with old paper. Decided it wasn't dark enough, so I pulled out my favorite, which is Rusty Hinge, and I'm going to ink them in it. And I thought about distressing them too, but this is Cartabella paper. And I am sure that's the paper I used one time, and it just was falling all over the place. It made quite the mess. So I decided I will just ink them and keep them inch and a half that way too. Sometimes I can get pretty rough at doing some distressing. I haven't done distressing in a while. They show them as a grid on the layout just over to the left-hand side. And I did remember to put the little one up there in the top so you can see it. And the center part, since I'm going to be putting the picture there, I could leave it out. And then I'm going to save the little picture that I'm going to cut out I'm not going to glue it down right off the bat. I'm going to wait because it shows it overlapping the picture and I wanted to do that. I stayed pretty close to the original layout. I didn't add much at all that wasn't in there as far as what all is there. But I do not think that the original shows the photo being matted. And I'm going to mat mine. And I showed you the embossing folder. And it's the wood grain. And so I'm cutting it apart and making pieces of wood. And I'm going to ink them. And I'm going to need one more. But I went ahead and cut one more and just used one strip. And you'll think I'm going to ink it a lot because it looks pretty dark on here. But this has a tendency to fade, soak into the wood, not look as dark. And so by the end of the layout, you'll be able to tell it don't look quite as dark as it does right now. And I do put some ink on the grain that's embossed on there just to make it show up just a little bit better. The paper I used is the Craft, and it's kind of on the thin side, but it still works for what I'm going to be using it for. And yeah, see the picture? It's kind of big compared to my pieces that I emboss, so I have to cut it down a little bit so the pieces that I emboss show up. I don't have a bigger wood grain embossing folder, or else I would have pulled it out and tried to get it a little bit bigger. I made sure I cut everything by hand though on it because I wanted it to look a little more rustic. And it does show a tag right there on the right hand side. There shows a bunch of journaling in the title. Mine's just going to show the title and a few other odds and ends. And the older tags, if you've looked at some of the tags that are like vintage looking, they'll show a little square above the ring, the enforcer. And I think that was there to help enforce it because like they'd have tags hanging for probably an extended length of time, maybe even traveling, getting moved from one place to another. And I think that was a little extra thing to help reinforce it. And nowadays, if they use them, it's not that often, few and far between. I know like where I worked, it was for inventory. And once inventory was over, we'd slowly be taking them off. We didn't make special trips around to take them off usually, but we would be taking them off. So they weren't up there that long. But I think the older ones, that's why they had that. And you see me cut 4 little pieces. I am going to glue them all together, one on top of each other. And then I'm going to use my, I forget what that's called. It's been so long since I used it. But it punches holes, and I wanted the 1/8 inch punch. And I was afraid my regular one wouldn't punch very well, and this will punch through metal. And I've tried it. It does. And you don't have to push very hard either. But I am going to punch extra just because I know I can lose them. They can go flying here and there and everywhere. But in this case, the few that I'm not going to be using and toss over to the side are tossed over there because I didn't glue well enough. And the layers weren't all glued together. I made sure I got the ones that were glued together. And I'm going to use them for nails. And that's why I did that ink, the rusty hinge, just to make it look like they are rustic little nails that's on there. And, oh, I'm just trying to get them all added down to see how much space, how far apart to put them. And I put the top and the bottom in first so I could lay the other two on top of them. I didn't want them all look like a a shutter, and all be one after the other. I wanted them just be kind of piled on there, was the look I was going for. I didn't want them really even. And I have misplaced my Tim Holtz piercer. Oh, I don't know where it's at. It's about wore out anyway. Where I hold it, it's layer after layer of plastic has disappeared. So I had to pull out my old close to my heart one. Thank goodness I have backup. I'm inking both of the pictures around the edge. I used an archival ink on the pictures themselves, but I used the regular ink that I'm using on the craft paper that I put behind his picture. But I wanted it to stay on the pictures and make them look a little bit vintage along with all those other little squares. But yeah, this is an adorable layout, and here I goofed. What's bad? I've done it twice. My phone rang twice. Both times I turned the camera off and didn't realize that I didn't turn it back on. The first time I did those hearts, and those are Kaiser craft hearts. It comes with 2 dies, and I've used them both on here, and I used the craft. Then I ran them through the embossing folder and inked them and put them on the layout in the 2 places that they show scallop pieces. And here, I liked that little house and the camera, but they were really dark. See how dark gray they are? Well, it didn't seem to match the rest of my layout. So I took a pencil and went around them and made my own out of the craft, ran them through, fussy cut them, ran them through the embossing folder so they'd have a wood look, and inked them. And that's what y'all missed out on while I was doing that. Sorry. But my title, you seen me doing it while I was talking and apologizing. It's Love Their Laugh. And the laugh don't show up super great on the video, but it shows up really good in person. It was the October afternoon letters. Both of them. The one that says there is the little tile ones, and the ones that say laugh is the bigger ones. And I used orange. And like I said, I tried it out and it looked pretty good on the layout, so I went ahead and used them. And here I'm putting a little, it says crisp and cool, little banner on top of my little house. And I put one on the camera too, and it says I love autumn. And they're from Simple Stories, those little sticker sheets that you can get. There's like 8 in a package, and it's one from them. And I think I'm getting close to getting done. Oh, my tree ring, I had half of one left over from the layout the other day. So I just used it on here. And that's about it. I'm inking the sides. I went all the way around the outside. And I'm going to put me one of those little buttons, the wooden buttons for autumn. And I think this one's Freckled Fawn, I believe. I believe those are Freckled Fawn. They're not as big a package. And I wanted to make sure I used one, so I put that there. And then I'm inking those little tiny hearts. I have so much ink all over my hands when I got done because of all these little things that I had to ink. I don't know why I have to ink my autumn stuff. I used to ink everything a long time ago. But the autumn stuff, I still like to ink it. Anything rustic looking, of course, I want to ink it. But yeah, the hearts came out, the hearts from the Kaiser Craft die. And so there's like a couple of sizes of them. I got more of one size than another because that one heart strip up there, they're all the same, but the one at the bottom has a couple of little hearts that's tinier. And I added water to my Rusty Hinge ink and did my splatters with that, and that's my layout. But be sure to check everybody out down there below. Um, Christy, of course, will be doing it every day for the 30 days. Maura and Crystal will be joining her also. And then on other days, everybody will be joining in when they can. And yeah, I thought about not uploading this, but then I thought I might as well. Y'all know how to take a pencil and go around a camera in a house. So I'll just tell you what I did instead. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you who already are, thank you so much. And thank you for the wonderful comments that you leave. Makes my day. Thanks. Have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.